Ready to start the day. I've got my coffee and my Uridium. So this is Uridium. You can see the logo in the bottom left is Houston, and the bottom right is Mindscape, who put it out in the United States, I believe. Let's open it up here. It's a nice gatefold cover. So this is a game where you fly around and you blow up Star Destroyers in your Manta fighter. It's somewhat unique. I don't think there's anything else quite like it. There's a NES version called The Last Starfighter, but I think nothing really captures the charm like the Commodore version, and that's true for a lot of Commodore ports. Now, I feel like in the United States that on home computers, action arcade games weren't really as popular as elsewhere. And I think maybe part of that is that action gamers usually got consoles. A lot of people hopped from the 2600 to the NES. Another thing is that in the United States, everyone who got a computer got a disk drive because that's how most games were distributed. And, no one had tapes really. And the significance of that is that more complicated games could be fit on disk. Open world adventures like Ultima. Really massive strategy games, very varied stuff, and wow, be sure to complete your warranty card for new updates to Uridium. Man, I want new updates. But getting back to arcade games versus strategy games and RPGs, that was kind of the computer experience was, RPGs a lot, because you could do them, and that was a novelty on a computer. It's not something you could do as easily on a console. Console RPGs kind of caught later with stuff like Dragon Warrior and Phantasy Star. But let's put away the manual for now, and let's go play some Uridium. Okay, so here we are blasting off on the first level, and first off, I want to apologize for the sound being a little bit out of sync. I'm recording this off emulator, but it is set to NTSC because I want to show you guys how this stuff works in NTSC land. So let me explain what's happening. I'm flying back and forth on this Star Destroyer, trying to rack up as many points as possible, and after a while it tells you you can land on this landing strip that has the arrows pointing to it. Meanwhile, you've got to chase down and shoot down fleets, avoid mines, etc. And here we go into the bonus game. Which kind of brings me to my first criticism, is that you can kind of rack up, pretty much double your points on a level by playing the bonus game. And that's, my opinion, is a little bit bogus. It's a pretty simple bonus game. So there you go, Destruct Sequence primed. Look at that, look how beautiful that is. And I remember reading that he wanted a mini game where you go in and into the Star Destroyer itself, and instead of the bonus game, but ran out of memory or time or something. And that would have been a lot cooler. And in the Amiga version, there's a Uridium 2, a sequel that actually improves on this in some ways. In some ways, it's not as good, depending on what you want in your games. In that version, you actually do go inside the core in a different kind of mini game where you destroy the reactor, and it's pretty neat. I should review that at some point. And yeah, the levels are short but intense. If you die, you gotta do them all over again. You don't get to continue. And some people think that the land now comes on after you've destroyed so many parts of the ship, or maybe it makes a timer go faster, and I'm not really sure about all that. I think it's kind of superstition. It's not really, I don't think it's written down anywhere that that's what happens, and I haven't really noticed that. I've noticed that on subsequent runs it comes on faster. Maybe it feels sorry for you, I'm not sure. It would be, I think this game would be a little bit cooler if it had a little meter, like a land now meter, and maybe it does go faster when you blow up, parts of the carrier. You also get a major bonus if you chase down and blow up these formations in their entirety. And it's kind of a thrill to kind of be going along the entire starship. You gotta kind of memorize where the barriers are. Those are the dark things with shadows you can hit. And just kind of go full blast, blowing up these ships. Really cool stuff, and not something you see in many other games. It's got kind of a Defender-like intensity to it. And you might notice the stars kind of juddering a bit in the upper part of the screen, and that's an NTSC issue here. Even the NTSC fixed games on the Commodore weren't 100%. This happens on the legitimate American release. It happens on the DTV. The stick you plug into your television, that's a Commodore stick. Really cool. It just happens. I don't believe it happens in PAL. Yeah, and as you advance into the game, the levels, of course, get harder. Enemies get more aggressive. There are more mines. The structures get harder to navigate. There are some parts where you have to turn your ship sideways to pass through them, and you do that by holding the button down and tapping a direction. The controls in this game are actually really great. One thing I like that they did is that when you tap the fire button and you release the fire button, each one of those actions lets off one shot, so you don't have to tap that fast. You might have also noticed the sirens going off, and that warns you that an enemy is approaching. And what you try to do is you reverse direction when you hear that, and while you're flipping around, you're invincible. And that's part of the strategy. Then you can flip back around and chase them, or whatever. The enemies come by really fast sometimes. You gotta be ready. So the game is really well thought out. There's not a lot of cheapness in it. It's pretty fair. Even though things are happening very quickly. And there's only a handful of enemy patterns, so once you learn those, you're pretty good. You'll know how to counter them. And you'll notice those guys swoop down very fast. You gotta be ready for that kind of stuff. Like I said, you reverse direction, and man, that mine just got me right when the land now sign came on. How tragic. But everything like that's telegraphed. You can always avoid those. Every time you die in this game, it's because you messed up. And that's a sign of a designer who knows what they're doing. I wanted to show you guys more of an American computer game magazine from back in the day. This is from 1987, and right off the bat you can see that this is much more strategy oriented than something like Zap 64, which was in the UK. So you can look at the cover. You've immediately got a sim right here, Pegasus, and I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there's the Sentry, which came out elsewhere as the Sentinel. It's a great Jeff Crammond game. Let's open this guy up. And yeah, you got Starfleet 2, Might and Magic. Starfleet 2 is kind of like the Star Trek mainframe game. There's that Pegasus game, Defender of the Crown. Make your own war game. That's kind of a cool package. And then Ultima 4, an open world adventure. So yeah, that's an issue of CGW. A pretty big part of the gaming landscape back in the 80s. So thanks for watching my review of Uridium, one of my all-time favorites. See you next time.